Don't know if this is giving Daisy Jones or Catherine Zeta. Hey guys, welcome to another video. As promised, I would be reviewing Daisy Jones and the Six today. It's pretty exciting stuff because if you guys have been following me or have been subscribed to me, you would know that I'm currently in the Taylor Jenkins read bind. I was absolutely blown away by Evelyn Hugo that I was a little bit skeptical about picking up another book by Taylor Jenkins Reid. But I'm so happy that I did, and I'll be continuing with my Taylor Jenkins Reid streak because I've recently picked up a copy of Carrie Soto is Back, and I'm looking forward to read Malibu Rising next. Sorry for the dogs in the background, but hey, let's cue the intro. I'm gonna quickly walk you guys through my reading list. So I recently finished Sea of Tranquility by Emily St. John Mandel. I know she has a very long name. I'm not so sure what my plans are for this book. I might just do a quick review of it. I'm not so sure if I'm gonna be filming an actual video like this one. Maybe a shorts would do because this is hardly ever a book. I mean, it is a book, but then it's like a novella. It happened really fast. I read it in the span of 3 days and finished it. So yeah, I'm pending my plans for this book. And for Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. I am in the first few chapters and so far so good. Okay, back to Daisy Jones and the Six. You guys probably know that this book is written by Taylor Jenkins Reid, who is arguably the queen of book talk. She's been around for a while, and when the pandemic broke and book talk became all the rage and people went back to reading, one of Miss Reid's books and my personal favorite, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, made the rounds on the internet and rose to become one of the most prominent books of modern literature. And in my opinion, Taylor Jenkins Reid, she really does deserve all the praise. I mean, Taylor Jenkins Reid can write. I'll link my review of Evelyn Hugo in the description box, so make sure to check that out as well. Like Evelyn Hugo, Daisy Jones and the Six is also a work of historical fiction. But instead of a Hollywood movie star, our main character is Daisy, obviously. She is one half of the lead singer of a fictional 70s rock band, The Six. Now, the story isn't actually written in the normal format. It's written as this oral history. You get interviews from the band themselves. You get the perspective of Daisy, and we also get the perspective of her bandmate Billy, who is both the voice and the man who brought the Six together in the first place. We also get perspectives from Billy's brother Graham, his secret paramour Karen, Peter, Eddie, and Warren, who make up the rest of the Six. Now we also get interviews from people around them. So most notably, I think the major character that you should be taking note of is Camille Dune, Billy's wife and the mother to his children. We also get the perspective of Rod, the brand manager, and Simone, who happens to be Daisy's closest friend and confidant. Okay, so this review has spoilers, so please, if you haven't read the book, you can pause the video right here, but if you don't mind the spoilers, keep watching. And as always, I'm inviting you all to like and subscribe to my channel, and if you don't want to do that, I hope you can leave a comment down below. It really does help my channel grow. So Daisy Jones and the Six, right? It's set in the 70s. Personally, I'm really into older music. I really love the Velvet Underground, the Smiths, the Beatles, you name it. Well, these bands were way before the 70s started. I really don't mind popping out some David Bowie, Bee Gees, ABBA, and the Carpenters every once in a while. And besides, the 70s were the golden age of music. I mean, during that time, notable singers and bands like Elton John and Queen really rose into prominence. So I guess that's what really made this book so easy for me to consume and to read, because I'm really familiar with the music and the aesthetics from that era. So not only was it a way for me to live through that time through the lens of a fictional band, this book also had a special meaning for me because I really, really love music. But let me tell you this, even if you're not into 70s music or into music in general, I personally don't think that it's an issue. or a necessity when you're trying to read this book. You read this for the story, like the characters in particular, because this is literally a character driven book. I mean, I say literally because this is like narrated, like the chapters are narrated by the characters. You get into the interview format, so you could like get as many as 8 POVs in one chapter. So yeah, basically we get to live through each scene through the eyes of each of the characters involved in that particular scene, if you get what I mean. Like getting into their thoughts and what they thought about a certain situation, it just makes you think like how a simple action or a simple experience can mean so much to another and can mean very less to the other person. So I'm gonna make another comparison to Evelyn Hugo. I mean, I think that's a little bit inevitable. I mean, they're both historical fiction books, and they're both they although they have different story formats, the overall theme of the book is like a journalist slash documentary type. I have to commend Taylor Jenkins Reid for really mastering the art of telling stories through the eyes of journalists. She really does it very well, and it's never really a distraction. Her tone and her style of writing is very conversational and very easy to follow. So for the characters, obviously we have Daisy, and joining her is Billy, and they're both like front and center in this book. Everyone else just like orbits around them. Daisy is like that quintessential 70s rock star that people love to build up and eventually destroy. And she plays well into like that media narrative as well. At 14, she's sneaking into parties and doing illegal substances, and she gets into this euphoric highs several times during the book. Now, Billy fits into that stereotype as well, but he's like the polar opposite of Daisy. He's the poster child of a rock star trying to resist the temptation of fame and everything that comes along with it. It can be the sex, the drugs, and the money. He simply wants to be a good husband and father to Camille and their kids. But before you can count him out and think of him as a saint, I did think that he is anything but that. Billy is a jerk. He's controlling, and he just wants things done his way. They kind of give me like that Paul McCartney and John Lennon type of vibe. But the thing is, Daisy joins the band later on. Like the Six were already a band before she joined. And as you might have guessed, Billy wasn't too pleased about that. But at the same time, once she does join the band, these two polar opposites are actually drawn to each other. Now, Billy and Daisy, they both have this very complicated relationship with each other. And it ultimately reaches its climax by the end of the book. I mean, you're not supposed to really like them together because Daisy is simply a bad influence on him. And Billy, well, he's married to Camille. I really do hate it when the main character is married and they, love triangle. Anyway, he's married to Camille and they obviously have children. Yes, children together. So they're all sorts of wrong for each other. So if you guys don't know Fleetwood Mac, they're also a 70s rock band. And a lot of the members got together. Stevie Nicks dated Lindsay Buckingham and then went on to start an affair with Mick Fleetwood. And John and Christine were also almost married for like almost a decade. Not almost married, they were married for almost a decade. And these just all became like tabloid fodder. But most of all, like their experiences dating each other impacted their music as well. And it's common for that to happen. And I know it sounds a little bit grim, but from heartbreak, we all know that something phenomenal can happen. I mean, look at ABBA. Following Agnetha and Bjorn's breakup, we got Super Trooper and Winner Takes It All. Ironically, there's something about two beautiful people and talented people falling in love and breaking up in the public eye that really hooks us common people. For me, it was Alex Turner and Alexa Chung in the early 2000s. I'm never gonna be over them. So for Billy and Daisy's relationship, you probably know how it's going to end, but I don't really want to like explicitly narrate the ending myself because I want to leave that to you to finish. The book also has a really interesting side story about Karen and Graham. If you guys recall, Graham is Billy's brother, and their story really gives me John and Christine McVie vibes. And like Christina, Karen also plays the keys in the band. So you can see where the dots are totally connecting there. The two are obviously in love, but one loves the other more, and one sees the whole picture of, of a wonderful domestic life away from Hollywood and fame, while the other isn't quite ready to settle down yet. So I really like the way Taylor Jenkins Reid made the story of Karen and Graham. I don't think it really quite ate away or stole the spotlight from Daisy and Billy. And there's this really heartbreaking scene in the elevator which I saw in the trailer, and so I can't wait to watch that translate from the book to the screen. And speaking of that, in case you didn't know this, Daisy Jones and the Six is going to be a series, and it's just one of those books that you just know would translate so well on screen. The series is going to be starring Riley Keough. If you don't know her, then you probably know her grandfather, Elvis Presley, the one and only king of rock and roll. Playing Billy is Sam Caflin from The Hunger Games and Me Before You. That's probably like two of his most popular movies. Camilla Monroe plays Camilla. Suki Waterhouse is playing Karen. And yeah, you can Google the rest of the cast. They're insanely good looking, especially Riley. She's just everything that I imagined for Daisy to be. So the official trailer for the series was actually recently released. It's going to be published on Amazon Prime soon, and I'm really excited about that. Although I am a bit skeptical because one of my favorite songs, I know I'm singing it in my head. I have a tone for it in my head, but then they kind of changed the lyrics on the actual show. They left out this line, and baby, when you think of me, I hope it ruins rock and roll, which I think is super iconic. And I'm wondering why the producers decided to leave it out. And what I think is Honeycomb is actually featured on the official trailer. It doesn't sound as as soothing. Is that even the word? I'm not so sure what the word is, but it didn't really sound that way when I envisioned it in my mind. I mean, I know that's the thing with book adaptations. They always fall flat of your expectations, but hey, it's a little bit early to tell, so I'm really still excited about the show. Okay, wait a second. I wanted to say something else about the show if you guys don't mind. I really am worried about the portrayal of Camilla. Not because I think that Camilla Monroe is a bad actress. I've never actually seen her works. It's just that I'm afraid they're going to reduce her to a jealous housewife when throughout the series, throughout the book, she's actually more than that. Okay, so let's get into some trigger warnings. I have to admit that this book does lose a bit of its shine when talking about issues like addiction and abuse. And although we get the repercussions of it, I think that the story just glosses over serious issues like these ones. So because of that, it does lose a single star, but I still do think that this book is a solid 4 out of 5 stars for me. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for watching. I am currently reading Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine, and I'm hoping to finish that before February does end. If you want to read along and check out the rest of my TBR list, I'm inviting you guys to follow me on Goodreads. And also, if you want to check out my content on Instagram, I've linked my account below. It really does help my channel if you commented and liked this video, and you can subscribe if you want to. I'll see you on my next video. Thank you so much. Bye!